Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. We're gonna revisit the past. I'm gonna blaze through this as fast as possible. I do not want to be here forever. We have media to create. We have shit to do. Let it go, Cell. We have shit to do. We are approaching the mid-season finale. Therefore, it is my indebted response that I must indeed go over this. We're gonna try to get to what they were saying, because we don't need to hear my responses to it, because I'm right here. Let's tap in. Let's get spicy with it.
Welcome, one and all, to yet another episode of WIC TV, a cross-ideological space where we come together to talk about issues.
Next person that steals my shtick, I'm losing it.
Political and cultural, from the silly to the serious. And today, no stranger to my channel.
MILF, I think this is how you met me.
Not so erudite. Go ahead.
And nonviolent
Aggression or issues to the state. What about representatives of the state? A congressman or a senator or a judge's house? Would that be considered state? Or
is he smoking a blunt? Because I just enjoy it more of even that's what it is.
For me personally, I would say that I do not care if a member of our government is, if an act of aggression is.
I remember
done to
a
one
lot
of
of
them,
things
because members in our government right now on both sides.
I really mean
of
I'm gonna be that guy.
Are
You're gonna see me with 20,000 viewers, and I'm gonna see you scrolling in the chat and be like, "Yo, MILF, what up?"
But
welcome back. It's never going to change.
For that matter, I think that if
this shit never going to change,
the violence is being
Clout's
done
not
against
gonna do nothing
someone who is, for example, I don't know, helping.
So while you see me in the background laughing sometimes, that's because my partner was here. She was. I think I even told y'all that already, but.
Or anti-trans bills, or basically enacting violence upon a populace through electoralism, then I think that aggression against that person is justified, because in many cases, especially when it comes down to things like Supreme Court justices, that people don't really have a say.
Okay, so everybody gave their opening statements, and Not So Erudite is already raising her hand when both of us, me and the other dude are haven't even responded yet. This is a common debate tactic. You will notice, and if I'm full of shit, you could tell me when I'm telling lies. You will notice that when she raises a hand, even though they'll get into a central argument, you're going to notice that the three people on her side, the other two, are going to immediately try to jump in before either of us reply. That is divide and conquer in a group setting. When you are online and you cannot control what's going on,
people really don't have or don't know another way to, go against this person or uproot this person, stop their rule. So when it comes down to people like Supreme Court justice, which have a lifetime appointments until death do them part, or they just resign, I think, if you want to scare Alito or whatever, to get him to resign, I think that's pretty fair.
Erudite and Staxiums, go ahead.
Okay, so I think here's the thing.
Oh, look, not only am I not... How long until someone starts yelling slurs to be cool? We get there. We get there in a roundabout way.
I think I would agree basically with everything that not Eli Monty.
I'm chilling. We're getting ready for the mid-season finale of season 4, which is kind of crazy. And certain conversations that everybody's been having on the internet, especially FD, the whole Candace Owens thing, etc., this and that. Cagnadian linked me a video that I had done about a year and a half ago. It was the Cat Black video. And in the first 5 minutes, I heard the correct take from me. And the chat, Cagnadian was like, yo, tapping the sign again. And it's crazy because as I look back throughout my content, I've noticed that I really did future sight a lot of y'all careers, because you've blown up. You have 300, 400, 1,000 viewers, 2,000, 5,000 viewers off of shit that I countered a long time ago, and I didn't even know that I didn't even know that was like that. if you know what I mean. Like I've said before, the big theme, and I think was like season 2 when everybody started coming around, was if it's a topic, Paradigm has done a segment on it. Now that I start to go back a little bit, yeah, like y'all actually don't have new things to say, and I think that's why I haven't really. I want to say maybe clout wise or whatever. That's why I'm not going too far. Because I drop subjects the next day. I don't give a shit about what you have to say, why you have to say it, what you're doing, This, like, it's like, to me, it don't make sense to me to keep rehashing something. Y'all know me and going backwards in the idea of meta panels. Yo, get me! Oh my God, yo! Okay, Virabot hitting today. I gotta get on some bullshit so you can get on your bullshit. So we can have. I just want everybody to know. Besides, like maybe like a direct line here and there at some point, me and Virabot got the same relationship me and Cagnadian have. It's the same dynamic. If somebody press Virabot, I'm snuffing them. Simple as that. Yo, you said what? It's like I don't hesitate. I that's beside the point. I'm cuter than Cag though. We haven't seen him, so we don't know. But he is Canadian. I was about to say he is Cagnadian. He is Canadian, so that's kind of a default L. Like
Is saying here as far as like what's like violence. Like if you're protesting against like the police, I understand why you would be like enacting some sort of like property damage to the police or like police buildings.
Okay, we talking about violence. You bring up property damage. I don't give a fuck about buildings, bro.
For example, or police cars. The issue is that this has to go both ways. So that means that if like it's not violent or maybe it is violent but it's valid. If
Cagnadian shows up before we finish this review, I'll do a remix of every person on here except for, I'll do a remix for Erudite. I'll do a remix for Eli, and maybe Anarcho, maybe.
BLM like damaged police.
Bitches, I'm adorable.
Then we
we making TFS references? The second some Mayo type homie. If you say his name 3 times, he appears.
We get in a really tricky
Yo, could you imagine if he do though? I'd be like, yo.
The January 6th insurrection. True. Because they were attacking and going into the location. And so this is like the main area where I get like a little bit caught up in because I don't know, I'm big on consistency. So I do agree with.
Okay. Fallacy, this is the biggest, this is how I know, and you can see it in my face. Tell me when I'm telling lies. Cause a few of y'all will around. Over the past 2 episodes, I've produced 3 hours of conversational content that produce more quality than all of these debates. For one, I for one would like to see more of that from you, more discourse chamber. Oh, you just thought of that. More discourse chamber. Yeah, we booking for August. For me, it's like, you know what it is, Globus? Like, as I think about it, because like I really do, and I'm not trying to be funny with nobody when I say this, I really do think the discourse chamber was the perfect example of a well-produced show that was fast, rapid. It had a goal. It made you want to tune in for the end. You didn't know the guests, so it was like cool to see the intro. Anyway, regardless, I really think that is the format that more people should take when it comes to like. And for me, I didn't watch it. Damn, you should watch it. It's pretty dope. Like, it's actually pretty dope. And it's like, I want to just keep the guests, but like, I'm trying to get it to a point where like, I can make it an event that like, I could then use to platform some smaller content creators that don't have the ability or the resources to know how to put that together. That's why I specifically picked y'all, because I thought it was a nice, like, everybody here does their own thing and it's popping in their own way. And when I put y'all together, it shows. I watched the interview with you, and I wanted to click it so bad, but again, my partner was here, and Virabot and Alina wanted to play Overwatch. I did promise them at 25, so I was like, yeah, I'll do it. Then they left me alone for an hour and a half. Bro, you get so fucking salty. I was tired. You didn't tell us you were good. We waited on the chat for an hour. Fuck. I will do it again. It don't fucking matter to me. It don't fucking matter to me. I just hate that game. I really hate that in League. That in League, yo. That in League, I hate them fucking games. Cause it don't be your friends that be ass. It be the other fucking team, and it's just, oh my god, please just do something for me. Anyway, that was a little bit of a stun lock on the Globus thing. Yeah, so don't worry, I'm gonna be doing that. Don't worry about it. The only reason why we going through this is because I want to show y'all like what I really think about on the real. And again, because most of the subjects here after the Pyro Tyrant conversation just kept coming up, so might as well go to the source, right?
With you, it just like leaves me stuck with the January.
First fallacy. If somebody says they want to be consistent, that means that if you have any empathy towards one situation and like 0.00001% less empathy for another situation, they will use that to they will immediately use that to contradict any good point you might make. Once I saw that, I immediately recognized, okay, here's where we're entering the semantic sphere. You are not here to learn from a black person. You are here to exercise how smart you are. My eyes should roll, or I should smile, or no, actually I should stay still, because at this point I'm not trying to show my hand.
6, which is essentially like which protests are valid, is essentially like the only place I have to go with that.
I just don't think that January 6th is like a valid thing because
tell me when I'm telling lies.
I mean, yes, these people are angry, but also like they're mad because they lost an election.
Mention this because this all exists on a spectrum. There are moments of time where I think everyone in the panel would say that violence is not only warranted but necessary. And when I draw those distinctions is because I recognize that violence is a tool, and that tool and tools are only effective or ineffective. They're not good or bad. And if the tool is ineffective, then we shouldn't use it. And I think that's
You cannot equate violence from people to violence on a state level. If my taxes pay for the police force and the police pulls a gun on me and shoots me in my foot, I paid to have my own foot shot.
That's where I draw the distinction. I'm not trying to say like, oh, violence is morally bad. If it works, it works. And I'm trying to say, hey, given the current state of our republic, given our current state of the democracy, I don't think violence works. I don't think we're at a moment in our history or in our time where we can look around and say that violence is necessary, when I think there's so much more effective measures to actually get things done.
So there's a response that's about to be given. So I'm gonna jump ahead. 6
I promise you.
leagues. Can you give me an example of one of those that might help with today's issues in modern society for America and America specifically?
Now, if you're smart, you know why I said and why I looked directly in the camera. America and America specifically, I'm taking the power away from Erudite. I do not want to hear that person speak because I've already seen that you're trying to do the semantical argument. Now you both are, but you have given me a tiny little way in to see if I can get you to say what you really feel.
Sorry, like a time when like violence was necessary?
No, what
I didn't say none of that.
tools could we use now that are so much better than violence to solve today's issue?
Engaging with the political system.
I could skip the whole next 30 minutes of the debate. What? Engaging with the political system?
Like South Korea and Germany due to their...
Okay, so this is where I break down everything. Shout out to the chat because like...
who set up this group of actions that need to be followed. if it was so easy for us to just talk this out,
we wouldn't be here.
Like, people wouldn't live stream mass shootings.
Oh no.
If it were that easy for us to
He's saying
talk
shit I ain't
this
gotta
out,
say.
Okay, Alina's here, which means by odds, Cagnadian should follow very soon.
then we would have so many systems in place that would stop us from ever needing to even discuss, yo, they shot my...
Now hold on. This chat going crazy. Chaos is the true power. All right, Shadow. Said E1, 2, 3. You didn't know, but I'm gonna show you the power that is me. Oh my god. I will chaos control your ass to fucking Brazil.
A boy, and it was...
But there are actually 6 core tenets to nonviolence that Martin Luther King used to follow.
What does that have to do with anything I said in that previous moment? So let me give myself a little bit of clarity here.
Because we're still having this conversation. If it were easy enough to turn people's heads by having the conversation, then H. Bomber Guy should be the most popular person on the on the planet right now.
Because he's a white man who sits there for 3 hours and explains to you, like, the idea that people think vaccines cause autism or that vaccines are causing any of the blood clots or issues and any of these conspiracy theory things, just show them that video. I showed that to my friend who said the same thing, changed her mind on it. Why can't we just have that as required reading or listening in a school? Oh, because we don't want to use YouTube to teach our kids. But you're going to teach them the same things anyway. Are you teaching them in these schools that vaccines cause autism? No, we're not even bringing it up. So now they have no frame of reference and nobody trusted that they expect to trust to find out this information because you're not the ones telling it to them. So the more that we take away things from school, like education, and especially sex ed, the more times they'll have to find these answers out from other people. And since you don't want to point to the people on those websites that they be using to find the information that's at least decent enough to start a conversation that will at least be based in fact and reality, you now let them find their own way. And since the first thing you Google when you look up this dumb shit is more dumb shit, you end up in a dumb shit pile that leads you down a rabbit hole into even more dumb shit. Then you can't smell the dumb shit and it's game over.
Because people still think weird shit. So maybe, just maybe, if they're so close-minded that they already think that trans people are coming to groom your kids, hey,
We gotta.
you laid your bet.
Okay, we got to get some more people in here. We do.
No, we don't.
Perry.
No, we don't. No, we don't. No, we don't need to get more people in here. This conversation went on for almost 2 hours and 15 minutes. I spent 4 minutes talking.
Erudite, Staxiums, Ancom, and then Eli.
About the property damage and the economic destruction of Black Americans, I am against violent political action. So
Your existence is violent political action.
I think that those are also equally as bad, and we're still dealing with the ramifications of them today, which is why black and white race relations are in the shitter, because people keep talking and reminiscing and bringing up the things of the past instead of trying to work together towards a collective future.
Didn't Jason Aldean just say in his song on stage that he wants to bring things back to when they were better? I'm so lost.
That is one of the core concepts that was lost after the death of Martin Luther King. And I want to go over this because I feel like we keep using the word nonviolence, but there are actually 6 core tenets to nonviolence that Martin Luther King used to follow. And I'm just going to go over those real quick and then I'll give over the time to somebody else.
It doesn't matter what core is.
Number 1 is nonviolence.
He's literally the black conservative on Key and Peele. He's literally what we watched yesterday, which is why I brought up the... Yo, MILF, that's exactly why I brought up, okay, Globus, this is the explanation then. Every time we keep ending up around this subject, it keeps coming back here. Because this is literally where we met. The joke should not be reality. I cannot debate the joke. I cannot debate the joke.
We know you like watching Key and Peele on YouTube, but you'll love watching the whole show even more on Comedy Central.
Hello, and welcome to the 5th annual meeting of the Tallahassee Black Republicans. Now, I'm pissed. Royally pissed. Last November,
Barack Obama was re-elected president. And the black vote went almost entirely to him. We're not getting our message out, obviously. The Republican Party is and should be the only home for black voters. Yes, sir. Now, people think that black voters are a monolith. We're not a monolith. What? No, we're not. In fact, black Republicans alone are an extremely diverse group of people. Now, to speak more on diversity, I present tonight's speaker, Mr. Douglas Jackson.
Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I'm pissed. I am royally pissed. The liberal media thinks that republicanism is not for black people. Now, you tell me, what about fiscal responsibility, a strong national defense, and limited government is unappealing to black people? We're not a monolith. We come in all different shapes and sizes.
Yes, we do.
Now, who here would like to come up to this podium and speak about the diversity amongst black Republicans? Gentlemen, we have a real treat today. A gentleman who is a little bit eccentric, a little bit outside of the box, if you will. But I can't think of a better person to speak on diversity amongst black Republicans than this gentleman right here, all the way from Orlando, my good friend, Arthur Washington, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for the introduction, Brother Douglas. Thank you for being here, Brother Arthur.
However, I am pissed. Royally pissed.
Indeed, indeed.
All right. Democrats think they have a right to all the black people. But that is not the case. We are not a monolith. Democrats may be cool, but they ain't practical.
There you go.
Republicans are practical. Black people are practical. Come to think of it, get those pants. I think black Republicans are pretty cool.
So here.
Not to mention very diverse.
There we go.
Excuse me, gentlemen. Sorry to interrupt. Someone's white wife is here to pick them up?
Was her name Emily?
She was white?
Okay.
What's up, y'all?
Violence, resist evil without resorting to
He
violence.
sounds like the comedy.
2, nonviolence seeks understanding and friendship, not humiliation. 3, nonviolence opposes evil itself.
Okay, I don't care.
Nonviolent resistance avoids nonviolent resistors maintain a deep faith in a just, any modern.
None of that because I feel like that was a response to me.
It's fine. Go.
Okay.
Since it's
I just want to say the reason why I brought up the other things was because the first thing that you said, Perry, was the stuff about Detroit. Because I guess I'm assuming that like that was a protest or a demonstration that happened where black people, I guess,
It was an
ruined
destruction of black wealth by black Americans. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you brought that up. That was the first thing that you brought up, but like you didn't bring up the other things that I brought up, which I would argue are the things that led to that thing happening in Detroit. I also just hate the fact that this conversation is most likely going to start centering around Dr. Martin Luther King. I think it's incredibly pointless to center this conversation around Dr. Martin Luther King or really the Civil Rights Movement and the Civil Rights Act. And here are the reasons why. First off, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, and he was the nonviolent one. He was the peaceful one, and they still shot him for it. The FBI shot that motherfucker. Not only did they shoot him, but also when he died, he had an approval rating of under 40%. He was known he was known as the most hated man in America. And the reason, and this was among both black and white people, not just white people, but going to start centering around Dr. Martin Luther King. I think it's happened where black people, I guess,
it was the destruction of black wealth by black Americans. Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you brought that up.
Y'all know what time it is. Cagnadian not here. He just gonna have to miss it. Ladies and gentlemen, 2:35. 2:35. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. 2:35. Def Beats, what you got for me, baby?
Sweater, cutter, yeah. saying? Like, I just value shit. I just be valuing shit.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
You can sit around and do nothing and immediately die as a consequence.
I know that ain't who I think it is.
Hey, Cagnadian, could you do me a favor?
Shut the fuck up!
That was the first thing that you brought up, but like you didn't bring up the other things that I brought up, which I would argue are the things that led to that thing happening in Detroit. I also just hate the fact that this conversation is most likely going to start centering around Dr. Martin Luther King. I think it's incredibly pointless to center this conversation around Dr. Martin Luther King or really the Civil Rights Movement and the Civil Rights Act. And here are the reasons why. First off, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated, and he was the nonviolent one. He was the peaceful one, and they still shot him for it. The FBI shot that motherfucker. Not only did they shoot him, but also when he died, he had an approval rating of under 40%. He was known as the most hated man in America, and the reason, and this was among both black and white people. Not just white people, but also black people as well, because there were a lot of black people who looked at, and these people still exist today, that looked at people like Dr. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and said, why are you rocking the boat? It's just gonna be best for us if we just try to navigate the system of white supremacy and just try to, who gives a shit if another black brother gets gunned down in the street? He wasn't hiding well enough or some shit like that, right? Like, he was one of the most he was the most hated man in America when he died, and I would argue that we still have not caught up to him and his vision to this day. As far, I don't know if it was asked in the opening, but I know that the original prompt that was sent to us in the chat was the civil rights movement affected? I would say in symbolism, yes. In all actuality, no, because, and this is probably gonna get a lot of people angry. Get ready for them super chats, Wick. I'm gonna expect my cut. But black people didn't receive reparations, and I think that should have been, and I think that was, if I remember correctly, one of the goals of the civil rights movement. Also, the Civil Rights Act being passed. Oh well, black people are still gunned down in the street by cops for no fucking reason. Not only that, but there's still shit like redlining still going on, even though the practice in and of itself is illegal. It's still going on. Not only is redlining still going on, you still have shit like where houses that were houses that are being sold.
So he's spitting
about MLK.
I'm just gonna say it. I'm gonna
act sort of. And
then
affirmative action, and then the race part of affirmative action was just.
Is this about nonviolence, or is this just about black grievances?
And there it is.
Right, but I'm saying, as I
don't have work to go.
You say you didn't want the conversation to revolve around MLK.
I'm just
You're
gonna say
just
it.
talking
I'm gonna
about
say it
race
from my
grievances.
chest. If you don't think that 100% of what you want in the world, which I agree with a lot of what you're asking for, except for reparations, which I'm pretty sure you're not surprised by, if you think that just not appreciating major historical wins, despite there still being lots of work to do, if you don't.
That's where I want to stop this. That's low-key where I want to stop this. This was the point in which I knew I fucked up. And that's what Pyro was trying to drill in my head. What are you talking about? Black people can see civil rights being passed and recognize that the people who they were, the reason why we had to do it, is quite simply because... No, this was the last panel I was on before I left the reactionary left. That's why we're covering it. What are you talking about? What do you mean by that? That's not what he's saying. That's not what black people are saying. The work that has to be done is undoing the racism that seems to be embedded in the way you treat us. The historical win doesn't mean anything but a symbolic thing if you still treat us the same. The whole point of the Civil Rights Act was for us to be civil with one another. Remember forced integration and the military had to be there and all that? Like, we thought, okay, we can no longer allow people to divide themselves like this. This must stop. And you got so mad at that you turned the police arm of the state, the violent arm of the state, into a target device because you legally couldn't do it anymore. And then you found a way around that too.
I don't appreciate that at all. It's baby shit. It's actual
Right.
baby shit.
I feel
It is so
very
fucking
disrespected.
important.
I feel very
fine.
disrespected that you, a white woman from Canada,
It's not about race.
is going to. I mean,
Well, I'm gonna agree
we're
with her.
having this conversation.
Well, I'm gonna agree with her, and that's when it becomes a clown show. And that's what I've been trying to bring up, and that's the reason why I wanted to cover this at that point. As I'm hearing that, my literal logic is now, okay, this conversation is not what you want to have in regards to like actual problems. You are sitting on the top of my temple now, and you're asking me to entertain your worldview. That makes you happy, which means I can assume, and this is kind of the thing about like why Globus said what he said and why everybody's been saying what they're saying about my potential. If given a one-on-one opportunity, I could pluck you out of that world and sit there and expose you for everyone to see. However, the people that already watch you should already see through you. Me plucking you and knocking you out of my fucking timeline would do nothing but give all those people a view into maybe we could turn that guy into one of us. Because if they could see through that person, they wouldn't be there watching them. Is that clear with everyone? Are we at the central conundrum here? This was not born from a desire to have conversations about politics. This was born from 3 people. Now, I will tell you once again, throwing my little clout nut all over the place, me, Soda Poppin', and Carter were one of the first people and probably the reason why you have Just Chatting today. Half the reason why you have Just Chatting today is because of us. Go to Carter right now and ask him the story. He'll tell you. He said it before. Not a problem for me to get that history in there. This was not the vision we had. This was not what we saw Twitch possibly becoming over the rise of Evo and Fortnite. We were back in the day when Twitch Primes were permanent. You got one Twitch sub a month, and whoever you sub to, it would turn permanent. Always subscribed. Now when you go to Evo, if you had a legacy subscription, it's still there. Everyone else still has to do Prime subs and sub every month and blah, blah, blah. And it's a channel that only exists for a couple days out of the year. This is not what we saw. What was yesterday's title? The precursor. Who do you think I was talking about? When Cagnadian said to me, I future sighted a lot of y'all's careers, I've already had this conversation in content that I did in 2015. I was already there. This is a dead issue to me. You cannot have a conversation on the merits of political violence. It doesn't work because at one point or another, you end up with either a destabilized country that will get overthrown, or you end up with agencies like ours, world superpowers that will just destabilize your government and your way of life because we want to, because we need to exploit things. If we know that we have that level of control, if we know that there are conspirators that will try to kill anybody who tries to threaten that engine, the idea that you think that violence in and of itself is a thing to be talked about shows that that's your baby shit. You can't evolve past that. You have to be right about the small things.
The backbone, the backbone of this conversation.
Were not even close to being adequately achieved by that movement, which is given as the largely the hallmark of nonviolent resistance.
And there's Vera Bob back to the what the fuck are you talking about typing? Let's go.
Tells me that no, it wasn't fucking effective. It gained small legal wins. It gained some symbolic wins.
Let me ask you then.
But
hold
on. Let me finish my statement.
Please.
In the actual goal of trying to achieve the sort of equality that Martin Luther King proposed in his speeches, it hasn't gotten anywhere close to those goals. So, was nonviolence effective? I don't think it was.
I just want to say that my child is by a white woman, and no one dragged me off to jail. No one hung me. No one did anything like that to me.
I'm married to a white woman, dog. Okay. I'm like, okay.
And look at us. See, you can marry white women. and nobody's attacking you for it. However, have you ever been on the internet? Have you heard the interracial discourse?
Minimum shit! Bare minimum shit! What are you gonna say next? That ending slavery was a major stride? Oh my god, he was the bare minimum that should have had the shit.
I wish he didn't say that. That was his fault. He's correct. He's correct. He's correct. Ending slavery was not a big thing for black people. And people are going to say, how could you say that? Because the next step was what? The failure of Reconstruction, which is, if that is not the final episode of this season, if I don't get FD, Big Bill, iDubbbz, Hassan, if I don't get all these motherfuckers in one room to talk about the failure of Reconstruction from every single facet, I don't know what I'm doing. But that is correct. The undoing of slavery let a whirlwind of shit happen that effectively turned the prison system into slavery one way or another. And because ending slavery didn't rectify that core issue, just because I'm still a wage slave, I'm still looked at as the N-word when I go to... MILF! Sacrificial MILF. You want to see something cool? You want to see something cool? This whole thing was about this. I'm just letting y'all know. This whole thing was about this. This whole thing was about this. May 18th, 2022.
It's because of how they are. How are they? You know. No, I don't.
And that right there. That right there. That right there. That right there. You know how they are, my white brethren. Race was not mentioned. Race was not mentioned. He expected him to know, because that's how we are. You understand that this program is a work of fiction, right? Okay, I'm a attempt to work through this with you very slowly. Slowly. Martin was a slice of life. The Fresh Prince was a slice of life. A Different World was a slice of life. The Cosby Show was a slice of life. There were shows that are works of fiction that play on real world traumas. And back in the day, black people, especially in the 90s, were having this massive resurgence of understanding that the people who were making these scripts were trying to make points about the real world. Now, if I have to tell you, go look up the paradigm lore. This situation has happened to me. So if it's a work of fiction, it's imitating my life. No, let's spin that around, because I'm tired of giving the benefit of the doubt to the situation. My life is being imitated consistently by the thing I'm seeing being repeated by everyone else's experience. Who was the person who left that comment? I think it was Matthew Fields on my YouTube. He said, oh no, it was somebody else. He was like, individual experiences don't really matter in the grand scheme of it all. But when an entire population, an entire group starts having the same experience, regardless of race, gender, financial place in the ladder, occupation, something gotta be different about that.
Don't tell me. They have no respect. They don't care about this country at all.
Oh, it's a work of fiction, right? It's a work of fiction. I didn't just spend like 4 hours talking about this, though.
They don't care about this country at all. All they do is sit on their butt and complain.
And what do they have to complain about? It's because of them and their quotas that I'm not in the Ivy League.
Chat, tell me when I'm telling lies. Tell me I'm not the fucking best already. Name one fucking creator you know on Twitch that has gone over A Different World. Name one in the chat right now. Go ahead. Y'all been here for a hot minute. Some of y'all only watch me. Some of y'all been around everywhere. Tell me when I'm telling lies. You see this setup? This was season 2.
Where I belong.
You all had quotas for centuries. You called them legacies, restricted country clubs, the law.
Oh, hey, my grandfather came to this...
You called them legacies, country... I just went to shoot at for a wedding at the University Club in New York. And it's such an elite club that I was the only black person at that wedding. Maybe these people just didn't have black friends. There was over 150 people there. You mean to tell me not one of them could even look like me?
This country with nothing. He couldn't even speak the language.
the law.
Oh, hey, my grandfather came to this country.
The point I'm making that this is a poor example to base a transgression on. Okay, now I'm gonna get pissed off. You're telling me that it's a poor example to base a transgression on when it's my fucking life. This happens to me consistently. I fought civil rights cases off this. Please Google my name. That's when I was really pissed off because I was like, the fuck are you talking about?
With nothing. He couldn't even speak the language. But he worked hard and he made a place for himself and his family.
You know what's crazy is that you're saying the same points the person made that was in my chat weirdly in December 5th of 2020. And that was a month after I started streaming. How are we still on the same topic 2 years later? But yeah, the art doesn't imitate life at all.
Now why can't you people do the same? Hey, my grandfather
Dude,
built this country,
man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee.
I couldn't even go to the Bronx to go film something because a cop wanted to shoot me in the head. Like, come on. Oh, but it's wrong to base a transgression on. But my people have been through that. I went into that jail system, and you know how many of those people were there for reasons that they needed to be there? Open containers. My man trying to have a drink after work. I remember seeing a dude walking home from work during the essential workers whole thing, and the police stopped him because why you got a container out, my brother? Because I've been working 14 hours trying to save patients from COVID, and I'm fucking tired. And I'm going home to my house to finish this fucking beer. And you know what they did? They beat him within an inch of his life. You want to go Google that? But it's not. Yeah, I remember. And then I just shut up because I was like, I'm not going to keep going. But we are.
These restricted country clubs, the law.
Oh, hey, my grandfather came to this country with nothing. He couldn't even speak the language. But he worked hard and he made a place for himself and his family. Now, why can't you people do the same?
Hey, my grandfather built this country, man. He fought wars for it. And most places he went wouldn't let him sit down and get a cup of coffee. I can't even catch a cab in New York. You know, it doesn't matter how many degrees I get. All you people see is color. Your grandfather was an immigrant. You're American. My grandfather was born here, Duke. And you people still look at me as just another nigger.
And that's what Pyro was saying. You can give as many emotional speeches as you want. You can leak empathy out as far as you can. But they won't see it. They'll just look at your debate behavior and judge you based on that. That's why I'm telling you. It's my time. I'm not playing with my blessing no more. Somebody just dropped a sweet ass... like my rent in the fucking chat. It's my time. It's my fucking time. You niggas is lame. I've been having this conversation. This didn't air 5 years ago. Oh shit, Cagnadian's here. Oh, we called you, bro. You missed mad remixes. We dead added you and everything. But yo, welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. Cagnadian's here. About fucking time.
Riveting history lesson, Professor.
All right, just let him go.
JC, he's right. What did you say? I said he's right.
And then this is the one white dude who this is the TikTok guy. If we want to have fun with this, if we really want to have fun with this, I'm the actor. I'm Dwayne. Dean Cain is erudite. The middle dude is Based Perry or whatever, and the dude on the left is the TikToker.
Lesson, Professor.
All right, just let him go.
JC, he's right. What did you say? I said he's right.
I'm not at A&M because quotas kept me out of another school. I'm here because I always wanted to go here. You know, when I was growing up, I used to play all the time with black kids. I never thought anything about it. Then one day, I must have been about 9, I was fishing with my dad and uncle. My dad told my uncle this joke. He said, what do you call a Negro physician from Virginia? A nigger. You know? I'd heard that word before, but never from my father. So he probably wouldn't have minded what we did today. But I'm ashamed. I'm sorry. Richard Howell.
Sorry, I just want to finish the,
Excuse me for a second. You guys better hurry up. You don't want to miss...
As well as black.
No, I was just talking about your back view.
No, you're saying blacks are superior.
Let's have some fun. We'll put his name on his property.
Let's do it.
Oh, good idea. These people love graffiti.
Hey, man, stop. Come on. Take it easy, man. Come on. Hey, you are
you and the other officers arrive.
Okay, me, Jay, told my uncle this joke.
Hey, man, I don't want your apology. I want their arms broken. I want a punishment. And I want my car fixed now.
You don't see your part in all this, do you?
I'm the victim.
More brothers on the team?
Well, that's just the truth.
Oh, so you're comfortable with the stereotype that all black people can do is run?
Hey, look, we don't expect a fair shake from you, officer.
That's right, I'm a white man.
That's right.
I could be a card-carrying member of the Klan.
Never know.
Or I could have marched with Dr. King. You don't know. Maybe you should look at me as an individual and not as a color.
All right, but the odds, like, that it unraveled itself at some point. Let's just be honest. Like, we know what they were trying to say. We know what they were trying to say, but like that, the point was made, and then you're trying to equalize it, and it's a TV show, and we're trying to promote the message, you know, fair, but like,
That's right, I'm a white man.
That's right.
I could be a card-carrying member of the Klan.
Never know.
Color.
Like, we get it, we get it. Stop. Stop.
Let's go, Wolfie.
Not Skibbity Toilet.
You know, I
not it
jumped at the
being
chance to get in this
referenceable.
suit, become
Hello.
another species. You make me ashamed. Ashamed to be a mammal. By the way, your wallet, it's in with the others.
We watched it yesterday because of him,
You
too.
get your car fixed, you give me the bill, I'll see that they reimburse you. Go on. And since you're so good with paint, I'm going to call the folks at Hillman and see if they got some buildings need a fresh coat. Come on. Go.
Negro physician from the South. I have to remember that one.
See you next Saturday. What? For what? For more. Oh, for much more. So that things can change.
Hey, I'm not spending my Saturdays singing We Are the World.
Oh, you think you have a choice? Unless maybe your hard-working family would like to hear you've been kicked out of school. Oh, and bring a snack. I like donuts.
I can't wait until next Saturday.